story begins with a young man named Ivan working on one of his comics where a devil god attempts to destroy the world, and the hero, Ivanhoe, fights to stop it. Later, at an excavation site, a mysterious explosion occurs, releasing projectiles of light. While putting the finishing touches on one of his comics, we see that something is watching Ivan. Once finished, a portal opens in his room and one of the projectiles of light pushes him through. Ivan wonders if he is hallucinating from sleep deprivation, or perhaps time traveled considering the costume he now has on. Either way, he is glad to see he is no ordinary person. A monster appears, but Ivan thinks he is not in much danger considering he is the main character. He is wrong, however, taking damage and only surviving because someone has come to fight the monster. Ivan is impressed by the man's strength and startled when their fight escalates. After a moment, he decides it's best to run away. As he does, a light projectile comes to his side and turns into a sword when he grabs it. Unsure of how to wield it though, he continues to run away. The mysterious man is shocked to see that Ivan is able to carry the sword while running and avoiding his attacks. With a little luck, Ivan is able to land a blow on the monster, causing a massive explosion. We then see him as he wakes up and begins to believe he had only been dreaming. However, moments later he meets a tiny mysterious creature, making him realize that it wasn't a dream after all. An onlooker takes a picture of his celebration and makes note of how there are too many crazy people in the city nowadays. Later, Ivan attempts to feed the animal and shows it where it can use the bathroom. It is very displeased, revealing its name to be Jerome, the divine beast that protects the formation. He explains that the devil god and his monsters called demon winds were sealed in the heterodox world by the primordial formation. Jerome has been protecting the three worlds for millions of years. Ivan is a bit confused by his name, which offends Jerome, so he reminds Ivan that he saved his life by giving him Excalibur. He goes on to explain that the seal is weakening, allowing more and more demon winds to go through the rift to the three worlds. Rifts are portals between the three worlds and the heterodox world, created by energy instabilities. Jerome says the rifts themselves are safe, especially considering that Ivan is a chosen one, as he is able to see demonic monsters and spirit beasts. Most importantly though, he has the power to save the world, and it is his responsibility to enter the rift and defeat the demon winds. Ivan wonders how they can fix the weakened seal, but Jerome is hesitant to answer. Just then, Ivan gets a call from his landlord demanding the rent, but he doesn't have it yet, so he must go work for him. We get a glimpse of the contract that Ivan must agree to that formally makes him a demon wind hunter named Nightsword. Elsewhere, we see that the mysterious man Ivan had encountered before finds out there is a new slayer. Nightsword had been credited with eliminating the sheep-headed monster, and he makes the connection that it was Ivan. The other hunters chat about how terrible it is for someone to rob someone else's demon wind, upsetting the man greatly. Later, Ivan remembers that there are two divine beasts to protect the formation as he spots someone he believes to be Jerome's brother. Jerome says it's not and that it is actually a bubble, the dumbest spirit animal in the three worlds. Ivan thinks they're pretty similar, but Jerome disagrees. He continues to make food deliveries when a girl who reads the hunter's chat on her phone falls, only to be caught by Ivan. He has other concerns, however, as he rushes to rescue two spirit animals, only to realize it was unnecessary. Ivan quickly develops a reputation for being a doofus by the other hunters, for his lack of knowledge on the law of the Chosen One. He has also been getting on the news for his abnormal behavior, considering normal people can't actually see the spirit animals. The other hunters then receive a mission to arrest Nightsword for violating the law of the Chosen One and severely influencing civilian life. At his trial, it is explained that the only way hunters are able to register on their Voicer app is by reading the law of the Chosen One first. Ivan reveals that he has never heard of this app and never read the laws either. Considering it is his first offense, they decide to only give him a fine. The man then closes the Foreign Affairs Department and changes it to the Spiritual Pet Registry Department. He is shocked to see that Jerome's registration form reveals him to be a Formation Protection Divine Beast. Ivan notices their astonishment and proudly proclaims Jerome as his spiritual pet. The men then wish him luck on his mission, but laugh uncontrollably behind his back, as they can't believe how Ivan can think such an odd-looking creature could be a divine beast. Ivan is glad to hear that he isn't the only one who thinks Jerome looks like a deformed bubble. Jerome reminds him that they must keep his identity a secret, and the two leave. Outside, two others discuss how the mysterious explosion has yet to be solved, and how no one wants to take the mission. Later, it is explained that prophetic jades determine a Chosen One's power, and are what separate them from regular people. A floating wall determines the strength of a Chosen One's prophetic jade. Those that pass have a color reflected back to them, however those that are too weak have no color at all. The strongest are shown the color gold, and there has only ever been one person to get it. This person is known as Skeleton Genie. Ivan wants to give it a try so he can show everyone his power, but Jerome says that those titles are meaningless. He is easily antagonized and begins his attack of the wall. Sadly, nothing happens, but Ivan is undeterred and uses his sword the second time around. Everyone is shocked as the wall begins to crack, and the director Zane appears. Zane is impressed by the accomplishment and reveals that Ivan is destined to become a great warrior. However, those watching begin to see through it as a hoax when Zane gives Ivan the mission to solve the incident of the mysterious explosion. Ivan investigates the mysterious explosion as Jerome complains that his time should be spent killing demon winds and defending the world. Ivan explains that a batch of swords had been dug up from the excavation site a couple months ago and had always been bouncing in the showroom. However, once one of the ancient swords went missing, the bouncing stopped. Ivan wonders how the explosion could be related, and Jerome begins to sweat, thinking he figured something out. However, Ivan thinks the sword is actually trying to summon some evil force from under the ground. Elsewhere, we see that someone has managed to piece together the broken sword, which causes a rift to open and a demon wind to appear. The demon wind seems small and pathetic at first, but quickly changes. Its attacks are powerful, but Ivan seems to have much more strength than he realizes. His confidence grows quickly, and the demon wind begins to understand that the fight is heavily one-sided. However, the fight turns again as Excalibur begins to crack, and Ivan is overpowered. A mysterious girl appears and puts her immense strength on display as she easily destroys the demon wind. Later, Jerome laments how his plan had failed, since Ivan is completely fine and the Excalibur ended up breaking. He reveals that he must sacrifice a formation spirit to repair the weakening seal, and that Ivan has such a weak prophetic jade, but it was the only formation spirit he could find. He continues to say that when Ivan had been teleported for the first time, the goat-headed monster ignored him, so Jerome gave Ivan the Excalibur to attract it. His plan to have Ivan defeated and used as a sacrifice to repair the seal seemed to be working, but Ivan somehow managed to defeat the demon wind. When Ivan arrives back home, Jerome is relieved to find he hadn't heard anything he said. However, Ivan has made the dramatically painful decision to find another way to save the three worlds and stop killing demon winds. Jerome is unconvinced and is willing to bet Ivan is just afraid to die. He is correct as Ivan begins to cry into his arms, and Jerome attempts to restore his confidence. Jerome says it was only a test from heaven, but Ivan doesn't believe it, requesting that if something so divine exists, then it should repair his sword. Just then, winds rampage his room and a green light repairs Excalibur. Jerome recognizes the light as it is similar to the one that transformed the crab monster. Elsewhere, it is revealed that Lou is the name of the man who helped Ivan. It is explained to Lou that the rift was opened by an ancient sword with glowing green light. He begins to wonder if it was also responsible for the explosion, considering it must be very powerful. He recalls a story told by his grandfather of an ancient city sinking into the ground, and that under the ruins a great secret is buried. He would like to know where the sword is, but is told that it had mysteriously disappeared. Jerome wonders what could have been powerful enough to restore the Excalibur, and Ivan says that it must be because he is the chosen one favored by fortune. Ivan refers to ancient mythology to conclude that he must have guardians as he thinks about the mysterious girl. Elsewhere, we hear that Lou has successfully suspended excavations at the ruins, so that all focus can be put on investigating the explosion. He then receives a message stating that the Moonlight University mission had been completed by Skeleton Genie and Night Sword. Skeleton Genie is known for never teaming up with anyone, so this news greatly boosts Ivan's reputation. The gossip continues to spread as people wonder if Lou will forgive Night Sword for robbing his monster earlier, or would they eventually fight in a showdown. Later, we watch as Jerome fights a battle of his own, coming out victorious, but is a bit embarrassed when Ivan arrives, proudly seeing that he used the tray he had prepared. Jerome lies, saying he has not used it in that way and was just taking care of the plants. Just then, Lou arrives and receives an unintentional gift from Jerome. Lou cleans up as his uncle asks why he pays special attention to Night Sword, and he reveals that it is his intuition. Lou believes that Ivan is strong, but sometimes has his doubts, and begins to consider whether or not to have Ivan join him in hunting a demon wind to see for himself. Outside Lou's door, Jerome wonders how someone as rich as him would live in the same shabby apartment complex as Ivan. He also questions if the housewarming gift Ivan has chosen is such a good idea, and Ivan can't see any reason why it wouldn't be. When he enters, Ivan is surprised to see that he must first go through a disinfection room. Lou tells his uncle to keep the inspection low-key and to be careful to not expose his identity as another chosen one, as that is very important. However, Ivan remembers him right away, calling him his ghost-headed monster buddy. Lou doesn't seem very impressed with Ivan's gift, but his uncle is able to appreciate it much more, even having a hard time finding the best place to put it. Ivan's exploration of the room leads him to find some precious stones, which Lou explains are called Demon Wind cores. They appear after a Demon Wind's death, and Ivan has earned one as well. He had disappeared after eliminating the goat-headed monster, and Lou kept it for him. Lou's uncle reveals that the monster was a 3-star, and its core is actually very valuable. Ivan explains that they both fought the monster, so they should both share, and Lou declines. However, Ivan does not accept that answer. As the two walk together, the others once again gossip, as they never thought they would see Night Sword and Knightly Marquis get along. Lou cleans off Ivan's residue as Ivan receives an offer of 350 shells for the 3-star Demon Wing core. He refuses the offer, and the man is shocked to hear that the reason is because it's too much and will only take 250. Lou jumps in, questioning the man's ethics, as he knows that a 2-star is worth at least 600, and the man relents, giving them 1,000 for it. Lou won't accept any money, so Ivan decides they should at least get a meal together, but for some reason he declines eating as well. An unruly man, unsatisfied with the food, throws it on the ground, and attacks a spirit animal for eating it. One of the servers protects it, and Ivan arrives to protect them both. He explains that humans and spirit animals deserve to be treated as equals. The man sees Knightly Marquis and runs away. Later, Jerome is even more skeptical of Lou now, since he was willing to hang around Ivan all day. Just as the day begins to wind down, they notice that another rift has appeared. The two enter the rift, and Lou explains that they must be careful, as the monster that stands before them is an extremely dangerous 4-star Demon Wind.